Hey witches, so I wanted to do a quick little video about the right hand path, quote unquote, white magic, and the left hand path, quote unquote, dark magic, whatever. I don't really see a true line that divides the two, but some people do, and some people think that when someone says dark magic that they mean it in a negative way. I certainly don't. So maybe there are people that do, but I just wanted to clear up a couple of things because some people are a little bit confused by those two branches of magic, which that's pretty stupid because they're sort of the same thing, because nature is everything. There's good and bad in this world. That's just the way it is. So the so-called right hand path, of magic, the so-called white magic. That's when everything is good, everything is of light and love, 100%. And under that practice, we'll call it that, it is considered okay to do bindings and banishments, but when you are having an effect on someone else's actions, isn't that a little bit baneful? So just think about that. That's what I'm saying. That it's very gray. Magic to me is not black. It's not white. It's gray. It's both. It's everything. It's every color. It's not even just gray. It's a rainbow and gray also. Because gray's not in the rainbow. But anyway, so like other things that would go under white, quote unquote. I'm going to quit saying quote unquote because it sounds stupid and I'm saying it over and over and over, but I mean to say it when I say these things. But when you're doing a manifestation work or a healing work, whether you're doing it alone or with deities, and it does depend, what deities you call in. It does matter. If you're going to call in Lucifer to work with you on a healing spell, which is perfectly fine, that's not going to fall under your right-hand path of magic, because you're asking someone to help you who is not considered a deity that is on that path. So if you're wanting to stick with that path, you need to stick with deities that match, is the best way I can put it, that match that path, okay? Both of them, no matter what system you're working, but both of them, you're going to work with ancestors. They both use tools. We use tools in very similar ways along both paths because they're really one. Spells, sigils, tag locks, talismans, amulets. We give offerings. We do so many of these things the same. It's just laughable, the division that there is in magic between these two paths, because if people sat down and actually had a dialogue, they would find that they have more in common than they think. But anyway, when you're talking about just the right hand path, your risks are a little bit different. It's one of the things that are different, and a lot of it's because of the deities that you work with and the things that you're doing. But with white magic, you want to make sure that you have a strong foundation and protection magic anyway, regardless what you're doing magically. But you must have those things. You must have that one thing, that strong foundation and protection magic. You need to have that. But if you're just sticking along with light and love and everything beautiful all the time, then you're probably going to be all right. Probably don't need a whole lot, but I would redo that, protection spell on myself at least every 3 months. Even if everything is all light and love for you, you still want to have that because it's important, because you are still open, because you're practicing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the left hand path, or the dark arts. Black magic is just a word, 2 words actually. It does not mean that it's bad, okay? People think it's bad because, there are a lot of spells that are unfortunately called black magic spells, because they're baneful, or they have something to do with, working with deities that might not be the most, angelic deity, so to speak. But you're doing baneful magic, not all the time, not all the time in the dark arts. This is just a tiny piece of the dark arts. I'm just telling you why it gets such a bad rap. Because of the baneful magic, because of the control spells, breakup magic, whatever. They're also doing banishings. They're doing, different work, even work with the dead, which white magic does too, because we work with ancestors. We might even call in a loved one. Not that different. But one thing that's different, when people on the left-hand path, or people that practice the dark arts, when manifestation is taking place, they typically do it with darker entities. Okay, darker deities, not entities, deities. Maybe sometimes entities, but typically deities. Sorry about that. Anyway, when they are working with those quote-unquote darker deities, they might call in a demon. I've heard people say that they think that Hecate is a type of demon. I don't believe so. I do believe she has darker qualities, but she also has light qualities. So, I've heard people say that Lilith is a demon. It just depends on your relationship and the way that you perceive that deity. But there are some that are known demons, and people work with them and have great success with them. There are pacts, that you can make, and you don't have to be on the left-hand path or practicing the dark arts to make a pact with the deity. You can do that with any deity, anybody. But you need to uphold that pact, and I may do a little video about pacts. But anyway, what the pact is, for anybody who's not sure, it's a working relationship between a human, which usually, and a deity. And, it's kind of quid pro quo. It's not you do everything for me and I do nothing for you. It's not like that. It's a working relationship. So there is another style of magic, ceremonial magic, that they do more in the dark arts than we do. We have a few things, that are ceremonial magic, but they have so much. It's so much more, and it's so different. And the setup for these rituals is crazy. It's crazy, but it's not bad. I mean, it's not bad. I don't think it's bad. I do things from the left-hand path. I practice the dark arts all the time. I think I know that's what prevents me from being a true 100% legit Wiccan, because I dabble in this stuff and I'm not supposed to, right? One of the biggest things that you're going to see a difference with is the colors, okay? When you are doing a protection spell, normally we use white, but if you're practicing the dark arts, you're going to use black for protection. Just one of the differences. Not the only difference, just one of the main ones. And also, excuse me guys, I had to swallow. But when you are working on the left-hand path, avoid salt if you're working with any demons or anything, avoid salt and avoid sage. You will sage after the ritual. You always should, but not before, because it's a deterrent. And if you're wanting to work with someone that doesn't like sage, don't light any sage. But I'm trying to put it, it's not a bad type of magic, okay? It is a dangerous type of magic. It can be, okay? If your protection's not in place and, you're bringing in the wrong thing, or the wrong thing comes through, stuff can happen. But that can happen during any type of magic, not just the dark arts, but some risks for the dark arts, okay? These are just, you cannot do these dark arts without doing these things. Follow these rules. Follow them. If you have children under the age of 18, or even if they still live with you and they are 18, do not work with demons specifically. And I have nothing against demons. I'm not saying that I do. I'm just saying that when you are opening up that portal, you don't know what's going to come through, and you have a child that lives with you. That child can't help that they live there, and what if they get possessed? What if they get hurt? What if they get scared shitless? And think about it. What are you going to do? Your little baby's now being affected by something very scary. So don't do it. Don't do it. If you need to drive to the woods and, make yourself a little ritual area, go find an abandoned shack somewhere that you want to use to practice, make yourself a little shed outside. Just don't do it around children. And I've heard so many people say it, and I've even asked some people that have been working with demons their entire lives, their advice, same thing. Don't do it. It's too dangerous. It's too dangerous. Too dangerous. Even if you do everything correctly, it's still dangerous. Don't do it around children in the same home where the child lives. Promise me you won't. If you do, you're a shitty parent. Sorry, but you are. After you are finished with a ritual that is not of light and love, you need to amp up your cleansing. Maybe instead of just, sage, maybe, open the windows, do some sage, maybe spray some salt water around, blast some positive music, sing, ring your bell. I always ring my bell, do your singing bowl. Just combine at least 2 of those, definitely the sage, and one more, and then, just get it out. But it does take a little extra cleansing after certain things that you're doing, if they go with the dark arts. And do not do these things in your home unless you live alone or you live with people that support you, okay? Just don't do any dark arts unless the people that live there know what's going on. You just need to be careful. It's not that it's a horrible style of magic where you're gonna die. No, it's not what I'm saying. Just let the people know. That way they know what to look out for. They say, oh, I saw a shadow person in the hallway. Uh-oh, we need to do something, and they know why, at least. And then y'all can start figuring out what to do. Now, if you are interested about learning more information on the left-hand path or the dark arts or black magic or whatever you want to call it, my recommendation is go to Black Witch Coven. And I'll put a link for the legit website, because they do have a couple of impersonators that try to say they're that company, and they are not. If you are not dealing directly with the Black Witch Coven with the CEO, Savannah, if it's not her and her website, get off it, go to the right one. She gives so much free information. She offers extremely cheap courses on things that go along with the left-hand path. That's what she calls it, so that's what I'm going to call it when I'm talking about what she says. But she has so much info, and most of it's free, but she does offer courses, and they also offer ghost removals, energetic sweeps of people and property. They offer tarot readings, so much stuff. She offers spell casting, protection work, everything. They offer everything, and the prices are pretty high, but you are working with, someone who is going to be calling in a demon, to work on the spell with you. So that's why it costs a little more, because they're taking a little more risk, and that's what they do, and they do really good at it. People swear by their success, and if that is up your alley and you're interested, go for it. But I will put the link for you. And if you have any other questions, let me know. Would like to know if there's anything else that I didn't clear up. But basically, bottom line, magic doesn't have a color. We use colors in our magic, but magic doesn't have a color. There's no color assigned to magic. Okay? Blessed be.